O'clock. I'll call the town board meeting for May 2nd, 2022 to order. First item on the agenda is the approval. Patrick?
Yes, Mr. Chair, if it pleases the board, couple of changes this evening. Please add a Q under consent agenda for authorizing the township attorney for an appraisal on the South Shore Trinity Lutheran Church property, correct, Chad?
Right, correct.
Also, add under 6A, old business, an update to the Purple Line discussions from Supervisor McCune. Then let's move, if it pleases the board, let's move open time up in front of our closed session and roll the North Oaks Company joint powers agreements into that closed session attorney-client privilege.
So we're moving 8A into closed session.
Yep, and we'll move 11 up to, right after the public hearing, of which there is none.
Okay.
And then chat, well, we'll wait till consent comes up.
All right.
That would do it.
Did I screw that up? You said open time?
Open time is going to move up to right here,
Yep.
right after, right here.
After it.
This goes here.
Yeah, this is going in here.
Okay.
Got it?
No, but I'll mumble through it. All right, I need a motion to approve as amended.
Move to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3 is approval of payment of the bills. Steve, you sign off.
Move to approve payment of the bills. They've been signed.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion also carries. Item 4, the approval of minutes from April 18th, 2022. Anybody got any changes?
I saw none. Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? All right, item 5, we have a number of consent agenda items. The board
Mr. Chair, if I
pleases.
may, I'd suggest that you you take 5F off the consent agenda and move it to a new business. The reason being is we should, of record, state why we're raising the fee, our reasons for doing so.
You can still pass the rest of those, though.
Yes.
Okay, with that modification, do I have a motion to approve?
So I will move to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Have a second?
I'll second that.
That sounds like a hesitant.
Well, I didn't know where exactly to say. The consent agenda, item M, should include the supplemental certificate of insurance that you provided earlier. That's in, did they all see it?
It was emailed right about the same time you did.
Okay. No change.
All right, motion's made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? All right, then we'll go back to consent agenda item 5F.
Thanks for muddling through that, gentlemen. I appreciate it.
Actually, I'd suggest you move 5F to a new business.
Or you want just to handle it now, or?
We can, it doesn't mean, you can do it right now. And, I mean, I think we should state of record what the need for the increase is. My understanding is due to increased costs incurred by the township in just monitoring vacant properties.
And actually, the board looked at this at a exec meeting, and we also checked with some surrounding communities, seeing how they were handling it. These vacant buildings are time-consuming for staff, for the building inspector, for our attorney, and hopefully, we always thought that if these fines would get people to get motivated to get something done with these homes, so we wouldn't have these vacant buildings and depressed properties sitting around. So it's kind of a twofold, but these are expensive to monitor. So, and it's a public safety issue when you have houses sitting around with nobody in them, and it's just a magnet for things to go south.
And they have.
I would also just add that in addition to our having the conversation, the Public Safety Committee did also discuss this pretty thoroughly, I thought, during one of the sessions.
Oh, yeah.
And had made the recommendation for us to consider the $2,500 amount.
And it's not that we have that many in the township as it is, but,
They take up a lot of time.
yep.
And it's not a fine, it's simply a recovery of costs, is all it is.
Yes.
And usually it's some of these, when they're not paid, it just goes back onto the county tax roll, and we're not even gonna see that money until the thing is sold, or,
Yep. If ever.
Steve, anything else?
Well, I was gonna say, when did we, I mean, it's been $1,100 for a number of years, so we really haven't taken a hard look until recently. So, it makes sense.
All right, if there are no further questions, there a motion to approve item 5F?
I will move to approve item 5F.
I'll second that.
Thanks, guys.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? All right, motion carries. Moving on to item 6, old business, the Purple Line. Patrick, you gonna cover this?
We had another request for participation from the township in ongoing discussions and plannings for the Purple Line. I'm bringing this to the board to see if there is any interest in committing more time to another advisory committee. Personally,
Personally, I was gonna say no.
Okay.
I think.
I think we're committed enough.
I think we're committed enough. We have one representative on the larger committee, we have a technical person on a technical committee. I think that's plenty when it really is not coming through our community anyway.
I think we're pretty well represented. Scott?
I do too.
Okay.
I also have some information I wanted to share with you all from the Corridor Management Committee meeting that was held on Friday. And it was the first time the group had met, period. There was an overview of the whole project and what was planned. There was a lot of emphasis made on listening to community members. And one of the council members from White Bear Lake City, Bill Walsh, made a brief presentation about why the city felt that they wanted to pass a resolution. At the end of that, the Metroline engineering consultant group came up with 3 alternative routes that would truncate either at Maplewood Mall or on County Road E in Vadnais Heights and not come into White Bear City. So this was very preliminary. I was surprised that they were able to pull these options together. There was a lot of conversation about this afterwards. The city of Vadnais Heights was very enthusiastic about that, one of the possible routes, going through Vadnais Heights and turning around. At the end of the meeting, there was no binding resolution. There was just a consensus that this needs to be fleshed out a bit more. An official vote would most likely happen in July, I'll say, maybe June, perhaps. But at this point, the consensus appeared to be that it would not have the defined purple line going through White Bear City. It'd either stop in Maplewood or in the Vadnais Heights Commons, and potentially they called it like a commuter bus, would go into White Bear City, which would run far less often, far smaller bus, no designation right-of-ways. So
Was there any actual stop for that commuter bus, or is it just a,
they did map out it would go up along White Bear Avenue and then cut over into the city around the Goose Lake. So a total change of what had been proposed initially. And again, the overall consensus seemed to be this was a great idea.
Well, the purple line taking a right turn at County Road E and heading to Vadnais Heights Commons, and then, there's a lot of parking ride there as it exists, and then there's also at County Road 14, I believe, at the Hugo exit, another park and ride there that they could also connect up to and use that commuter bus into Hugo if that's ultimately gets up that way beyond us.
That wasn't discussed, not the
No,
Hugo
but it
piece.
makes sense to say along the 35E corridor.
So this kind of then plays into do we want to have more participation? I see that this is to be on a membership recommendation committee to select community members to be part of this additional advisory committee. I suspect this is very similar to what they emphasized at Friday's meeting. They are really looking for a lot of community commentary.
They're not getting enough.
Well, they really bent over backwards to say they welcome it. Now, how it's delivered, maybe they would like it a little more moderated.
Sure.
But I suspect that that's what this advisory committee is going to be doing. So just, you've already shared one opinion as to whether we should participate. Maybe what I just shared kind of solidifies that.
Well, especially too, because we aren't a direct community involved in the path, so,
And potentially, it won't even be coming close.
right, so, obviously, they've got a lot more work to do now, because there's gonna be a lot more questions that this brings up, so. But I gotta believe that's gonna ease some of the contention of coming right downtown.
I will tell you that Councilmember Walsh said he was very happy that these alternatives came up, and he would take it back to his council to discuss, but he had absolutely no problems with what they were proposing.
Do they have a timeline yet to when they wanted to get, I mean, all this is still in a lot of,
Yeah. I think construction is 2025 or 26, I forget, I'm sorry.
that's okay,
I should know that.
so it's not in the near future.
No.
I thought it was even further out. I thought it was 28.
Speak for yourself. It's 3 years out.
But it's, there would be well, potentially there'd be a reduction in the overall cost because it wouldn't go as far, but
Sure.
Isn't that money they have already procured, don't they have, are they in jeopardy of giving it back?
no, because that was one of the big topics, is it would still be a federally funded project, even though it would not be going into White Bear City, instead taking a left to Vadnais or a right to Maplewood, it would still qualify for those funds, even with the little commuter bus that would be used instead. And it's not,
Any other comments, Steve?
No. That's funny.
We don't need any action on this, do we, Patrick?
I'm assuming that you do not want to assign anybody to this additional advisory committee?
No.
Okay. Then no.
All right, moving on, 6B, the Emergency Management Team Report.
Nothing to report from there, sir.
Everybody's healthy?
Yeah.
Just a little sidebar on that. How's our search for summer help coming?
Eh.
Wait a minute.
I saw the.
Can you get those in the minutes?
I think we've got 3 now, which is about half of what we usually get and about a third of what we need. So,
Because I've had a couple comments from residents about the sign out on
Yeah.
Centerville and 96.
Mhm.
And only it's because we've never had to do this before. We've always had enough,
Yep.
help.
we are, I believe, interviewing a 4th candidate this week, though. So,
All right, any other questions, Patrick? All right, moving on. Okay, what do we do here?
we're gonna do open time.
Open time, yeah. We're gonna move open time up only because we're gonna have to go into closed session with our attorney, which means everyone will have to leave the room, and then we will basically adjourn after that. But there is a slot here for open time. If I see we have 3 residents. If you want to come up to the podium, just give your name and address, and let us know what you want to talk about.
Ralph Tilma, 4294 Oakmead Lane. This figure for playground replacement is quite large. What's wrong with the equipment that's there now?
Outdated for safety purposes and insurance requirements.
Doesn't meet federal law either, does it?
Yeah.
No. It has federal problems.
It's been there for what, 25 years?
Something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
older than it looks.
Oh. That's a lot of money. So the swings are the chains on the swings are not substantial and that kind of stuff?
Probably not, but, oh, they're probably good for now, but we don't want to wait for the moment that they aren't.
Okay,
Well, plus this is quite an expansion of what's there. I mean, it's a big setup there. And it's gonna take some groundwork because we increased the footprint. And it is handicap friendly now. So there's a number of things that go into it. But I was with you though, Ralph. That's a big bullet to bite.
And it's been
yeah,
go-
we're a township, not a metropolitan area, so it's a pretty big bite out of somebody's budget, you know.
all of ours. It is a big bite, but, I mean, we did get competitive bids. It's been a 2-year process to get to this point. And as Ed said, the footprint is getting enlarged a little bit because it, in today's world of how it has to fit in there, for handicap accessibility, or, I can't use that word anymore.
Disability.
Just disabilities, period. It has to be expanded a little bit too, so.
But that is, I get it too, but that is also the focal point of White Bear Township. Polar Lake Parks is a big deal.
Yeah,
As you know, Hockey Days in Minnesota is coming there next January, so this is kind of our, I don't want to say downtown, but this is a main attraction for the
Centerpiece.
township, so.
yeah, so we don't have a downtown like
No.
No.
White Bear does, so.
No.
It's a central point. Okay, I get that. And then, I want to tell you, I feel honored and privileged that we're going to have a tobacco and vaping shop. So where is this going to be built?
Isn't it taking an existing spot on Meadowland Drive?
Is it going to be in an existing structure or a new one?
I think
Existing.
Existing strip mall, I believe, in
Yep.
there.
Well, somebody's got to leave then. Who's going to leave?
I don't know, I think there's an opening there. I don't really
They're
know.
always
where it's
rotating
exact-
in and out of there.
Yeah, that mall has always struggled to be full.
You mean where the sandwich shop is and, on the other side of the street?
it's,
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
On the other
Jim
side.
Faulkner?
across the street from
Yeah,
Applebee's, and there's a Mexican restaurant in that part of the strip mall.
Yeah, there's T-Mobile and,
Hallmark Card used to have a big store there.
Yeah.
And they went out, and so he struggled to keep people in there.
okay.
Yeah.
Interesting that there's that much demand for it.
Yeah, you wouldn't think.
I don't know if you've looked at the price of cigarettes these days, but it baffles me that people can afford that at all. I see it at Cub Foods occasionally when they ring up a charge for over $100 for a carton of Marlboros, and I'm thinking, wow.
Where could I find other uses for that money?
Yeah, you could drink a lot more coffee.
All right, that's it for this time. Thank you.
Okay.
I was surprised at the name of that place, Township Tobacco.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled with it myself.
Hi there.
Hi, I'm Kate Farnham. I live at 5767 Lake Avenue. And I guess I was just here for M. I'm part of the Baldeo Yacht Club. I'm the Vice Commodore this year, and I just wanted to, I guess it says a consent. I just wanted to make sure that it was passing.
It was
if there were
passed.
Yeah,
questions
it's
or-
all good to go.
All right.
Yeah, normally because we do this every year and really nothing changes, so we're able to put it under consent, so we don't have to spend a lot of time discussing
Okay.
it, because we do it every year.
Perfect.
But no, you guys do a good job out there.
Thank you.
Mr.
Oh,
Peterson.
Howdy, stranger. It's been a while.
Been a while.
Well, I watched you last week on the thing, but Denny Peterson, 5474 Peterson Run. Well, the first thing we'll get to then, as long as you were saying you missed me, how's the speaker system coming? You can't hear nothing. You
We
can hear
planned
you
it
on
that way.
TV, but you
It was
cannot.
working last week, or last meeting when you weren't here, but we knew you were coming today, so we shut it off.
Yeah.
It's supposed to, all the equipment's supposed to be in, and Lisa can come out and smack me within the next few weeks. So,
I will agree with you that the sound system is bad. We've been working on this for
Years.
Oh, yes.
Years.
And, you know, we had supply chain issues, I guess, apparently, along with everybody else on getting parts. Honest to goodness, they have ordered parts, some delivered, some didn't get delivered, and suppose we've been assured they're
Could you
here
have a
now.
mic you could pass around like they do at awards
Oh,
ceremonies or
these are
something?
supposed to work.
It doesn't work.
This page goes to
This
the
is for the
TV.
television audience, not for the
Right.
people in the room. I think that's the
But if
problem.
I'm at home listening to you, I can't challenge anything. So if I'm sitting here, I can't hear you, so I can't even challenge what you're saying.
Oh, I figured it out.
True? All right,
Again.
dog collection stations. Well, you told me something last time I asked about it, that we could get some free ones or something
I
on
believe
Peterson Road.
Dale Reed said there's not enough demand, or I heard our public works director said it's not going to go down there.
Okay. How about grading the rest of the last gravel road we have in Peterson, in the township?
That'd be a question for Dale.
That's pretty bad shape. You should know
I-
that, but
yeah,
maybe
you know what, though, I
don't go
quit going down there now. I don't want to get
It's a
all,
beautiful park down there. I thought maybe you go down there, but. And then I asked Mr. Poplar via a phone call, it's not that I don't trust him, but my property stake on the south side by Peterson Road, I know that got taken away when they were backhoeing and doing that $1 million road there. So I asked Larry if there was any way they could find my property stake where it should be, because it's not there no more. And
isn't that a
he's-
marker buried in the ground, though?
Huh?
Isn't it a metal pylon in the ground? They had a stake on the surface, but I don't think they would moved it if it's down in the ground. I could be mistaken, but
Yeah, but see, they backhoed that whole area. They came into my yard when they were putting in the manhole thing.
all right.
So I know it's gone, but I wasn't not believing Larry, but I just thought maybe I could get on record that maybe somebody with all the surveying that we paid for, that somebody would have probably had some,
Patrick, would that be part of the GIS?
if you'd check on it for me.
Probably.
Because, you know, we're going through the process now of marking absolutely every, what's the word I'm looking for? Unit, every
Asset.
asset, there you go. So, and that might be part of it. I can check with Dale for you.
Yeah, if you would.
That's what he's asking.
And then, I know I got here 2 minutes late, but did you already talk about the North Oaks Joint Powers Agreement?
No.
No.
That has to go into closed session.
Oh, it said closed session after that.
Yeah, well, that, we
Oh,
we
we-
changed that in the
In the opening.
beginning.
It's, the joint powers agreement is actually part of the larger issue of
The water.
joint, of the closed, yeah, the water, exactly, White Bear Lake.
So, closed session means that you're gonna talk about what you're gonna do, and we're not gonna know anything then.
Well, no, it's litigation,
Yeah,
and, well, you'll find out about it. We do have to do a summary afterwards,
okay.
but the summary, I will tell you, doesn't have to be that long.
Pretty nondescript.
Right.
Okay. So how about the townhomes and all those apartments south of Pine Hills? Where are we standing on that one?
That's,
After the last time we had somebody,
Is part of the closed session issue.
but the actual development, it's kind of back into the hands of the Met Council.
oh, so
We amended our comp plan,
I remember that last
and
week.
what, in order to do that, we have to take that amendment and send it back to the Met Council. And we haven't heard from them yet if they're going to allow us to do that. So that would predicate if Capitol could still put up their big industrial building and not have any apartments.
Yeah.
So we're in kind of limbo there. It's out of our hands.
Amendments to comp plan have to be approved by the Met Council.
Right.
Okay. Is there gonna be a loop-de-loo thing there at H2 in Centerville? You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
a roundabout?
Yeah, or is it gonna be lights and,
Not planned on. In fact, I didn't even heard if it's lights.
Well, I asked at the last executive meeting we had, and I think Jim and Dale indicated it was going to be a four-way stop sign. I had heard roundabout, but that had went away. So the latest I heard, although I have not seen anything in writing, was a four-way stop. So there, what's currently there, plus coming out of North Oaks.
yeah, I think a roundabout would take up too much. That'd be crazy there, I think.
But I can't get a response because I want to know if there are going to be a turn lane southbound in there too, but
True.
still haven't heard anything about that either.
Okay, so in the closed session, you're gonna talk about if you're gonna go to, you know where with North Oaks on the water.
Exactly.
Okay, so now we all have to leave now?
Well, unless there's any
soon as
further
we ask
discussion.
for
Come back? Nothing after it?
Nope.
No.
No, other than the fact we'll summarize what we did in the closed meeting.
Yeah.
You can go watch it on television.
Oh,
All you're gonna
Well-
see is us just with no audio. It's about the same as it is
Oh, at
now.
home he gets audio, he said.
oh, at home, you guys sound very nice. Here,
Lisa just sent me a message, end of May, everything's supposed to be up.
End of May.
thank you.
You betcha.
Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you, Ralph.
All right, thanks, folks.
No, we don't, no.
All right, so I will need a motion to go into closed session with our attorney concerning North Oaks Company Joint Powers Agreement.
I'll move.
Actually, it's also the ongoing White Bear Lake litigation.
Get that, Megan?
I'll make that motion to go into closed session to discuss the joint powers agreement and the lake level lawsuit.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
7:26.
All right, I need a motion to come out of closed session with the attorney.
I'll move to come out of closed session with the attorney.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And Chad, would you like to
Yes.
summarize what we just,
The discussion of the board during the closed session was the effect of the ongoing White Bear Lake litigation as it affects the joint powers agreement with the city of North Oaks.
do we also have to include North Oaks LLC? Or not?
No,
Okay.
just North City of North Oaks.
All right. We have, we don't need a motion on it, do we? We just have a statement
No,
for?
no.
Okay.
Summary.
Just a summary, that's all we have to have as a record.
All right. So that concludes our agenda. I just need a motion to receive agenda material supplements.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 8:32.
Thanks, folks.